to go ahead and start. This is the final painting that we're going to do today. It's a nice purple sky, a bit of water, a bit of reflection of the sky in the water, and then we're going to do some silhouettes, this little person and the trees. And in order to get a really good feel of what this silhouette is like, I wanted to teach you to do little people first. So we're going to start with black or Payne's gray. And if you just have a little piece of paper or a piece of tape or a piece of cardboard or something, just a plain piece of paper. This is not on your canvas at this point. And we're just going to practice making people. So we're just making a little oval shape with a dot for a head. And we're going to make 2 lines down the bottom. Now, if you notice, one leg is longer than the other. This gives movement to the person. We don't need to complete the whole body. We don't need to put arms if we don't want. So if I'm going to continue to play with that, if I wanted to make a little family, I'm going to make a little pea body, a little tiny circle, and 2 little legs. And then I can make a different adult or a different size body beside that. I'm just using black for now. Our Payne's gray, and we're going to use that for our silhouette. So if I want to join this family, then I can just give them little stick arms. So now they're all walking together.
Are we doing this before the background?
Yes, we're doing this on a plain piece of paper just for practice.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Just for practice, because this is going to be on our main picture. So we don't have to put all these people, but I just want you to give you a little idea of making these people and how to do the silhouettes. So this is a rounder body. This could be a more lean body. Again, one leg longer than the other, and a little dot for the head. So we're just making little people right now, just little silhouettes, and they're holding hands. If I take this bigger body here and I want to give him a baseball cap, then I'm just adding that to the top of his head. Now I want to make his head a little bit bigger so that it's not so out of proportion, but I don't need to fill in the little gaps in between. Our mind naturally fills those gaps in. If I want to make this person have long hair, I can just add a little bit of hair behind. So it's just a sample of little bodies that we can do, and feet. When we're doing people, because we don't want them completely in the air, we need to give them a little bit of a grounding. So we need to give a little bit of a grounding for their feet. So again, they do not have to be attached. This is a silhouette of a body. The legs are longer than normal. And the head can just be a little circle. If we want to give arms, then we can just do a little stroke. So if there's anybody that's just come on and they're not sure what we're doing, we are going to do this picture. Because there's a bit of silhouette work in it, we're just practicing the people first. Now we'll move a little bit from the people. I'm going to move to the tree. So we have a tree. in our picture, we're going to start from the very top of the page and work all the way down to the bottom of the page. And we want some of the branches to go right to the outside. So I'm going from the outside in towards the center. So I just want you to have a feel for a silhouette before we start. So we want a few of those branches in our picture to go all the way to the top, right down to the very bottom. If you have an unsteady hand, that's perfect for this kind of picture. A silhouette doesn't have to be perfectly drawn. Trees and their branches are not straight. They have curves and they have angles. So we may have a lot more on board now. And so we'll get going with our main picture. So with our main picture, I just have a bottle and I just took the lid from my bottle. I put it in the center of my picture and I drew around it. So I have a circle in the center of my picture. And then because I didn't want it to be too dark, I just used a white eraser, and you can get these at the dollar store. It could be a vinyl eraser, just so enough so that I can see the circle or you can see the circle that's left there. So now we're going to do a technique that is wet on dry. So we're using wet paint on dry paper. Just below our moon shape, about 2/3 down the paper, is where we're going to stop or start with our purple. So I'm going to, and if you don't have purple, if you mix blue and red together, you come up with a nice purple. Now I happen to have a purple. I have purple and Payne's gray and ultramarine blue. So those are the 3 colors for today.
Excuse me, Cathy. Sorry, whereabouts did you do your moon on the paper? About 1/3 of the way down, did you say?
No, right in the center.
In the center. Sorry, thank you.
Right in the center. You're welcome. So now, just so I don't lose where that moon is, I'm going to take a very faint purple and I'm going to come around that moon. So I have my nice edge, and then I'm going to paint on either side and come up my paper. So I'm not so concerned that I want it to be even all the way along. If I have a variant of purples, that's fine. I do, however, want to leave a deliberate slice in my paper and leave that white. So I'm going to leave a section white just for effect. And I want the darkest purple in sort of rounded, wispy, cloud-like formations on the top of my page, the darkest at the top. And I'm going to do, and these are your clouds, so I want you to relax into this and just do some fun clouds. They can start off light and you can add some dark in the middle. Just play with this and just see if you can come up with a nice spooky sky. I'm going to lighten some of it up a little bit Someone asked if my colors run. Absolutely, my colors run when I'm on an easel. So yes, they do run, and sometimes that's okay. I get the effect that I like. If I don't, then I would use paper towel and I would just tap off what I didn't want. So again, we're going to do some nice colors in and around the moon, leaving the moon open, leaving it completely white. And it's okay if some of the spots are lighter than others, or if you've left some white, little white spaces throughout, that's a nice effect as well. So not to worry too much about it being a perfect picture. This is not a recreation of anything that I know of. It's not a photograph. We're not duplicating anybody's work, but we're just giving a nice look of a sky.
Is there a way when I'm trying to mix my own purple to get it a bit more vivid? I feel like it's sort of like a more muted dark lavender.
Add more blue.
Okay.
Yes, I think if you add more blue, it will definitely be darker. But keep in mind with watercolor, when we paint with watercolor will dry 20 to 30% lighter from when you put it on. And so watercolor painting is a process of adding more and more color. So right now, if you look, I have it started off very dark, but it's lightened up because it's dried. And so I'm going to go back again and add some more dark. So paint with what you've got and see what it looks like, and then add more back onto your painting. So as you layer it, you'll start to see that you'll get a different dimension, but just make them look like cloudy, wispy movements. Just be light. Don't hold your brush too tightly. Just breathe into this. This is just a piece of paper, and it is just for practice. So it's just the coming of a night sky. So this is, we just add a little bit more, and as it dries, we add a little bit more as it dries. This is wet on dry, so the paper started off dry. So we're just adding a little bit more dimension, and it just gets more and more wispy as we go along. And we're leaving that moon completely open. So this is kind of a fun painting to do, to just to see what it's like when you hold your brush. If you hold your brush this way, you're going to get a different look. If you hold it this way, you'll get a different effect. So just play with your brushes, play with the color. And that person that was asking about the colors, not getting a dark enough purple, did the blue help?
Yeah, the blue did help. It's not quite the tone of your purple.
Okay, mine is called a diazonine purple, so it's quite dark. So it has a really strong pigment. But I think if I was to add a red, let's see if I can find a red, to even add a red to my and what blue are you using? Are you using ultramarine blue?
I think yes.
Okay. So if I add ultramarine blue and red, I have a red. This is the color purple that I come up with.
Okay.
So if I add a little bit of blue with that red, yeah, it's not quite the same purple, but you can get quite dark.
Okay.
So you can still get quite dark with it. What we're looking for is a dark sky with wispy clouds. So now we're going to go down to the bottom section and we're going to leave a deliberate white line after our purple. We're not going to put any color in there. We're going to leave about a 1/2 inch line. So with our blue, we're just coming right across. It doesn't even have to be a completely straight line, but we're coming right across from one side to the other with the blue. And then below that, I'm going to do just a jagged line of blue and complete the bottom. And this again, this is wet on dry. Then we're back to our purple. We're going to take that purple and we're going to fill in the spot in between, above and below the blue.
Is it okay that it blends, Kath?
We're trying to not have it bleed together. If it does bleed a little bit at the edges, it's okay, but not to have it run all the way down. You definitely want to show that there's blue at the top and blue at the bottom with the purple in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah, so definitely I'm coming back onto mine again and adding another layer of the darker purple because I think there's a little, it's dried enough that it'll just sit on top. So go ahead and add a little bit more if yours has faded. It does dry 20 to 30% lighter each time we add. So even if I go back in with the darker purple with my clouds again, I can add a really nice dark look of clouds, a really fun edge to some of them, just in a really dark color.
Kathy?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Deborah. Did you go right down to the bottom of your page with your blue?
I am right to the very bottom. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. If I put something under, you'll see there's the bottom. I'm right at the bottom.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So again, if you're holding your brush really tight, then you're not relaxing into this, and the painting, the colors will look a little bit different. So just breathe deeply, relax your shoulders, just drop them down. Just take a deep breath in and out, and another one in and out, and one more in and out, and just relax. This is just 1 hour of your day, just learning something new, just playing with a process. And I'll just read to you while you're finishing your art pieces there, my meditation cards for everyday joy. The card that I picked today is gratitude. So my reading for today is, may you know gratitude. May you be grateful for the abundance in your life. May you also be grateful for the people, feelings, and experiences that cause you pain and discomfort. They are here to teach you. Express your gratitude every day, and you will find even greater abundance in your heart and your life with each passing day. What are you grateful for today? So that was my reading for today. I hope you enjoyed that. You can email me if you choose to let me know what you're grateful for today, or just know in yourself what makes you happy, what gives you joy. It's just nice to reflect every now and then. And so while we've got this paint on here, we cannot go ahead with the silhouettes until this is completely dry. So I'm going to mute myself and I'm going to blow dry, and that's the time that we should all take to blow dry this, and then I'll come back to you.
I'm grateful for you, Cathy, in these classes.
Well, thank you. I'm muting, so I won't be able to hear anybody else, so sorry. Now, if you notice, I put a little piece of tape at the back of mine. It was just starting to lift a little bit, and that's okay. It's not hurting the picture any. When I'm done, I'll be able to straighten that out because I just am holding the back with tape. I didn't want that white edge. So if I was using my paper and using wet on wet and wetting my whole canvas, then I would want to tape all of the 4 edges and make sure that it was stuck down. Now there is another process and we'll talk about it another time, but I'll need to lay my paper flat to teach you that. But if I just tape the edges right now, and when I'm done, just bring it back together, then it will be fine. So I can see that some people are still blow drying, so I'll wait until I don't see any more blow dryers. So it looks like most are ready, so we'll go ahead and start in with our silhouettes. And if we go back to that picture of our silhouettes, we have people and a tree. So when we are going to paint that tree, again, we're going to start from the top and come all the way down to the bottom of our picture.
What size brush are you using, Cathy?
I'm using a very fine brush. This is actually, I think this is a 0. And it's just a really fine brush. It's really tiny. So I'm just going into my black or Payne's gray, whichever you have. And I always test it before. I test to make sure I don't have any clumps on the brush, and I curl it a little bit. And then I'm going to go right from the top and come all the way down to the bottom of the page. Now I run out of paint there, so I'll start again. I've taken off too much. But I do want to run that down through the center of my moon. So we're creating a tree. We're creating some dimension. We want a little bit of spookiness in our tree.
Kathy, again, are you going right down to the bottom with that tree?
I am right down to the bottom, right to
Okay.
the bottom. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, my branches go all the way to the bottom, and a few of them go all the way to the top. And I also want a couple of them to go right over to the left-hand side. All right, so I'm going to have some of those branches go right to the outside edge. And I'm going to have, as I said, a couple of them go to the top. And then I want just to do some small little branches come off here and there. If, as I said, if you don't have a steady hand with this, that's okay. This is the perfect project for that. And just let your imagination go with it. If there were little offshoots of branches off the tree, then allow those just to move just freely. And no two trees are alike, so don't expect your tree to be the same as someone else's. And we're going to do just a little tree beside that one, just coming up and just giving a little bit of foliage coming off, or a little bit of branches coming off. And play with how your brush works. Just relax your shoulders and just let the brush do the work, not so much your arm. Just let the tip flow and just let it fall off. So do a little stroke, and then just let the brush kind of fall away, almost not even touching the paper. So practice this and play on this piece of this artwork for practice, and you'll get to see what your brush will actually do. So sometimes if you turn your brush a certain way, you get a thicker branch. If you hold it straight up and down, you get a different angle. So just explore what you can actually do. And you can do as few or as many as you like. And just see when you're painting how thin you can make your lines. So just see if you can make a really thin line, a line that you almost don't see. I use my baby finger to hold to set against my canvas. And then I just let my brush tip almost not touch to get a really fine brush stroke. So just to get that little tiny brush stroke. And then if you're ready, we can go back and look at the little people again. So I'm going to put this white canvas on top. So again, the person has a head, and a body. It's almost like a carrot shape. A carrot-shaped body. And then legs. And one leg is bigger than the other, one leg is longer than the other. And that's what we're going to put at the bottom of our canvas on the right-hand side, if that's where you've got room. So this person's head is going to be in the purple part of the water. And then the body. And then their legs are going to go right to the bottom of the canvas. So one leg is longer than the other. And that gives a direction. Now I can give this person a backpack if I like. There's a backpack, just for fun. And I'm going to give them a little hat. So I might even give him one arm. I'll just give him one arm coming out the front. If I go back to my original, if I decide I want to put two people on here, I could make another pod, another carrot body, a set of legs, one longer than the other, right down at the bottom of the canvas. And they're joining hands. So play with this and see what you can come up with. You could have people sitting on a park bench. You could have, I could have this girl, this could be a girl, and she could have a ponytail. So in a silhouette form, you can have all kinds of fun with that. So there's a couple or two people together. And here's just a single hiker. So your eye naturally will fill in the gaps. And if I come back to that original as well, if I want to put in more branches, it doesn't have as many as the other. So I'm going to add some more branches just to demonstrate a little bit. So just be as light as possible, as light as you can on the canvas. Just put in some little branches, just some little wispy sticks coming down. And again, if there's a gap between the branch and the little stem, your eye naturally will fill in that gap. So they don't all have to completely join. So this is just a silhouette and a bit of an abstract painting. So again, just have fun with it. Now there's another technique that I'd like to show you as well. If in your clouds you were hoping or wishing that you had a little more wispy clouds and you want it just to be a little more, a little bit lighter in some spots, then by getting a brush wet, just with clear water, and tapping it off on paper towel, and then going back in where the paint is dark and touching on that paint. And so what I'm doing is I'm getting my brush wet in clear water and tapping it off on paper towel. So I'm just tapping it off and then going on to where there's a dark spot and then rubbing that color off on the paper towel. So I'm going to continue doing that until I have the desired effect of light spots and dark spots, just avoiding where I put my tree branches. So I can get some nice different dimensions of clouds just by doing this after the fact. If I decide some of the purple was too dark, and I may want to blend some of that into some of the spots that are white. But I do have an opportunity with watercolor to go back in after the fact and move some of my colors around. So it's not permanent. We always have some tricks that you can do after the fact with watercolor. I have had people say, well, watercolor is the hardest medium to work with, but I do find it's very forgiving. So if I change canvases, go back to the other one, the one with my little backpack hiker, and I want to change some of the darkness, then I can take some of that dark completely out. So I can move things around and change. If I want to give more of a rounded look to a cloud, I can do that with my brush, just with clear water and lifting off. Well, Yelena says that was relaxing and enjoyable to paint. Well, thank you, Leanna. I'm glad that you joined us, and I hope you learned some new techniques. And do drop shoulders, everyone. Drop them down. Take a deep breath and just relax for the rest of the day. Just practice. Don't let this be the last time that you do art. This is just little tips and tricks that you can learn and practice and play. Keep a notepad by your phone and scribble. Do these little people. You can do these little people. It doesn't have to be with pen and watercolor. It can be with a brush and watercolor. It could be with a pencil. It could be with the pen. It could be with a marker. And it's fun to see what you can have the little people doing, whether they're all, you can make little girls all doing a dance in a row, or you could have families. If you're doing a watercolor with people in the beach scene, it's kind of nice to be able to put these people on. So if I take these people now and put them walking along the beach, then I can take an ochre color. So I know I didn't ask you to have ochre, but if I take ochre and I put some ochre underneath these people, now they could be a little bit of brown in there. Now they're on a sandy beach. So practice and see what you can do for fun. And you never know where this can take you. So,
Can you show us a little dog?
I can show you a little dog, yes.
Thank you.
So there they are.
I
with
think
a
they
little
need a dog.
Did they need a dog? Sure. A dog is kind of fun. So a little dog, a dog is the same body. It's a little pea body, but it's sideways. So I'll make it a bigger dog so it shows up. Little legs. You've got your head the same. And your tail. Maybe your dog doesn't have a tail. Maybe it does, but there's a dog with a tail. And a couple of ears. Oh, it looks a little bit more like a rabbit, but whoops. So if this little dog was playing on the sand, then there he is. Now remember, when you have a silhouette, the same as this silhouette, when you have a silhouette, they need to have a grounding. So they need to have a shadow or some kind of earth beneath their feet. So always ground them. Otherwise it looks like they're right out in the open. So there's a little dog and a person with some grounding. Did that help? Whoever asked for the dog, did that help?
Yes, mine looks more like I don't know. I'm gonna practice that dog.
Practice, that's right. So again, it's the same body, but sideways with a little head that doesn't necessarily have to be attached, some little feet, a tail, and the tail can go down. Well, this looks more like a cat, but there, and you can do the little ears. So if I wanted this to look like this dog was on a leash, then I will take this black, and I can put a very tiny leash. So see, it has a little tiny leash on it. So if a person was standing beside them.
That was great.
If a person's standing beside them, then they're holding on to their dog. There they are, holding on to their dog. So silhouette people are fun. You can do lots of different things with them. As I said, in a beach scene, it's beautiful to put silhouette people. And because we've got the purple out, if I want to give this person some extra color, I can actually give them a dress in the purple. Just because I've got the purple out, it's nice to put some color on. So now they're wearing, oh, you can't really see the purple, but they're wearing a purple dress. So let's try a silhouette of a person without an actual body. So if I just do the rounded part of a person and some feet. And I can give a color of an outfit. So you can make your person, it doesn't have to be completely silhouette. You can add colors. So do play with this. This is kind of fun. I hope you like it. I like it. I think it's fun. I love to do art. I love to teach art. I'm glad you guys all joined me today.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cathy, can I ask a quick question? Okay, my body's kind of turned out long, like for the little people. And
Okay.
I'm just wondering if I could balance it out by putting a pair of pants on the boy.
Yes, absolutely.
Body turned out. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So how would you do that, Cathy?
How would we put pants on? Let's see. Let's pick a person with a long body. Let's make a long body. Let's see. We've got a person with a really long body.
Yeah.
And a head. And I'm not assuming what yours looks like. I'm just, and if I've got legs, okay.
Yeah.
And I can start to join this person.
Mm-hmm.
I could break it in the middle and put pants down. But I want to put a Y or a V at the
Oh,
middle.
perfect. Okay.
So that you can see the difference between one leg and the other. Now,
Right.
I may, if you're able to, I might make that body a little bit bigger so that it doesn't look like he's wearing pants without suspenders. Or,
Yeah, I'm so grateful for this program. This is my first time, but I
okay.
really enjoyed it. I love painting,
glad.
but I left it for so long and I don't know why. I thought I don't have time. I have all sort of excuses. You have starting my my session back, which is great. And thank you so much. And I will
Well,
follow up with
you're
it.
very welcome. I'm glad you've joined. So I'm on every Tuesday, the same time. So
Yes.
Please join us again. It's this is not for perfection. This is for enjoyment, for 1 hour to learn something new, to get out of our heads, whatever's going on that's not happy thoughts for us. I just ask that you put those in the parking lot for the hour. If they're gone when you're done, fantastic. If they're not, well, you've had at least 1 hour of peace. And so I'm just hoping that that's what that does for a minute. So if everyone can hold up your picture to your camera, that would be wonderful. Oh, beautiful. Nice, Sherry. Lovely. Oh, Kelly, I love your colors. Beautiful. Oh, Linda, you did a great job. Yeah. Oh, this is beautiful. And Monica, look at your leaves. Oh, your branches are nice. And Lindsay, oh, color spectacular. Wow, I'm so happy at the talents that are out there. So thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for coming on. I hope you got some joy out of today.